Ooh, right. I'm just going to do a little bit of a resume on this and just check how this is. I think it should be all right. Anyway, list of 7 items. Got me a bit of paper here. Thank you, Jim Holden. I appreciate that. Right. First question is, and I'll come to my people who are following on in a minute. Anyway, it's all right. Okay. First question. Why do I YouTube? Why do I YouTube? Difficult one. I think basically, evidently from a few years ago, which comes up to the other question, I got involved in being single, so you tend to sort of like, and you look for something. So I suppose really it was a bit of a cathartic experience of like talking to somebody and also leaving a record. Because of his strange situations with certain family members, I'm not going to, which is neither here or there, it's not the issue of the film, how I got into YouTube, but that's how I started making it, is that people could always look back, including myself, and I do look back, and I see how I've evolved over the time I've been in YouTube. And that's why I do a YouTube channel. I'm quite old, really. That's got no reason, rhyme or reason. But I looked at it and I thought to myself, yeah, and as you can see, if you do watch any of my channel, how it's progressed from one thing to another, personal experience, life experiences. What I've put on YouTube is an honest appraisal of my situation, and that's why I do YouTube. I won't go into the negatives of YouTube, which of course there is some, but anyway, when did I start YouTube? 22nd of December 2011, which was nearly six years ago. That's when I started. I don't know why I started December, perhaps, as you say. I was still single, I was still, busy in myself. Right. That was question 2, by the way, how long. So question 3 is, how did you come up with your name? Well, that's simple. If people know me, years ago with my children, I got 2 older boys and a daughter. Well, the older boy used to have his nickname Tonka. And when I was about around the area, because where I come from, I did know my son's friends, etc., etc., and they'd always say, "Are you Tonka's dad?" So basically it stuck to Tonka's dad, and that's where I am, and that's where it was. And it was even to the present day, till a few years ago, it was like, "Are you Tonka's dad?" And yes, I am. So that's where it come from, Colin, Tonka's dad. So that was question 3. That's how I got the name. Question 4. How long do I intend to make videos? I did give it some thought some couple of months back whether to just pack it all up because of certain situations. But I also then resolved to, when I do look at those videos, which I've made over the last, say, 6 months, there's some cracking videos of me personally, I think, with somebody. And also some sadness at the end. So yes, I'll continue to make videos as long as I feel comfortable making them. I know people say you make a video for other people. Well, you don't really. You make them for yourself, put them on the personal side of it, and it's for me to look back and reflect. Yes, I could keep them private, but some people find a certain amount of, I use the word comfort, perhaps understanding, of when they go say a certain issue or a certain problem. I mean, I do watch like Jim Holden, fantastic. I do watch Wiltshire Man. I'm not giving name calls, by the way. I watch a lot of people. I watch a few. Wonder Dano from America. There's lots, and then there's some I've died off them. I've watched some from channels from 0 feedback up to tens of thousands. but their channel's gone that way. Would I understand that? My channel will go that way as well. So it all depends. So when I talk about life's loves and losts and adoptions and whatever, it's talking from the heart. If it helps somebody out, then that's fine. So that's that question. Do I make my own thumbnails, which is question number 5. No, I don't make my own thumbnails. I'm not a tech buff, to be honest. If when I put it on YouTube, it sets 3 thumbnails, and I just pick the one that I think is relevant to that. I didn't realise you could at one time until I realised it. I didn't realise 1 or 2 things until somebody pointed things out, but I don't make my own thumbnails. Question 6. Do I do intros, outros? No. With the collapse of my computer, well, the one computer I had, which this camera is sitting on, it's an old Vista system, and I'm afraid it didn't pass the run from Scotland down to here, and I had to have it rejigged. It took quite some weeks to sort out, but it was still never right, and so I have now bought another computer. It's another little Packard Bell, and I've had to change all my editing suite or editing software, because it used to be on that computer. It won't run on this computer. There's all sorts of problems. So finding a adequate system that I can use, which is a bit idiot proof, because I'm just not up to it basically. So that's why I don't do intros and outros. I'm still experimenting. I'm still working out on that. And the last question is, what camera do I use? Well, I used to use a little Canon point and shoot, and it was a Canon 480, and I've used that up until the last few months. And when I was in Scotland, I bought a Canon, which is a nice little Canon, and it's the SX610HS. It's been superseded by the SX620. I've done a couple of little shots in this, and it's fantastic. Really good megapixels, good clarity, whatever. But recently, as some people know, I've bought another camera, so I'm going to turn this camera on and I will do my editing bit. And there you go. So what I've got is that I then now have that camera there, which is sitting there, which is a Lumix, and I bought a Lumix not long ago. As you can see, it's got the screen on, which I can flip round. It's a big camera. It is a picto-bridge camera, which I've used and put a few shots on, which most people have seen, or some people have seen. Quite happy with it. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to this cable, which you can see dangling here. More than happy with that. And as you can see, I sat there on the bed because I've left my tripod in my van, and the van's outside and I'm too idle to go and get it. So as you can see, it's just, this is my little bedroom, but anyway. So that's what I use, a Canon. I use a Lumix FZ2000, and I purchased it a couple of months back from the local camera shop, with a monopod, tripod, another one. So there you go. I'll turn that off and I'll click that in later. So that's it. I would like to, if possible, I don't know, I mean, I do watch some videos. I do tend to, and there's no compunction for you to do this, but I've been quite interested watching a lot of the 7 questions, to be honest, how people started. Wiltshire Man, Jim Holden, Bearded Bushcraft, is it Trev? Anyway, Bearded Bushcraft, who else is it? There's quite a few, and they've been quite interesting in a lot of respects. So if possible, I will try and message these people, because I know some people don't always watch my video, but I tend to watch them. But I'd be interested in Mancamper66. Sorry, I don't know your first name, but I have watched you at the show the other week, and some of your footage, it's quite good, very good. Desmond Donders, I know Desmond Donders. He's in Scotland. He's got a nice little motorhome with his wife Lindsay. I'd be interested in those 7 questions. I'll try and keep those brief. And there's another chap called Crafty Veggie. I watch. I'd recommend other people, but naturally they've done it, and I don't particularly want to go to America and suggest they do anything. So I'll put the list on and try and write the list. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope I haven't rambled too much, but that's how I got started in YouTube and what I did. And thanks to Jim Holden for the shout out for the questions. I hope they're of interest, and I do hope I can get a few more videos put together around this area, Weymouth, Dorset. I'm going back up to there soon, in the Midlands area and Wales, and then I would want to do Scotland soon. So that's my take on life. I am now standing and walking and turning the machine off. Cheers. And I bought a Lumix not long ago. As you can see, it's got the screen on which I can flip round. It's a big camera. It is a Pictobridge camera which I've used and put a few shots on, which most people have seen, or some people have seen. Quite happy with it. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to this cable which you can see dangling here. More than happy with that. And as you can see, I sat there on the bed because I've left my tripod in my van, and the van's outside until I have to go and get it. So as you can see, it's just, this is my little bedroom. But anyway, so that's what I use. A Canon. I use a Lumix FZ2000, and I purchased it a couple of months back from the local camera shop with a monopod tripod, another one. So there you go.